my goodness, I'm wearing makeup. Who's excited? I am. Okay, so let's first talk about the fact that my heater's on. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can tell from the title, that I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than normal, although I feel like I'm always doing something weird, so keeping you on your toes as usual. So talking about birth control is something that I've been kind of debating about for a few months now, because I was so shocked at the response, and I still get like comments and notifications from comments on my period video I did probably like 2 or 3 years ago now, and when I get those comments I'm just like, wow, it like amazes me, like the things that we aren't told, the things that you don't know before these things happen to you or you're in need of it. And like I said, that was such an old video, so if you want me to do like an updated sort of similar one, although I feel like I did a pretty good job covering the bases, but if you want me to do like an updated version of that, I totally can. So I wanted to kind of tell you guys my experience with birth control, kind of just give you the basics of why you would use birth control. I don't think there's a need to judge because someone's on birth control. I don't know, I just feel like girls are very judgmental of one another and you don't know one girl's story. And the first thing I will talk about is that there are more than just the common known benefits from birth control. Obviously, it'll help you not get pregnant. That's great. If you're sexually active, wonderful. But other than that, a lot of girls I knew, especially when I was younger and in high school, were taking it for acne. And it does help with acne. I mean, I haven't really noticed for me it helping so much, but it does help with acne, and a lot of people use it for that. And other people I know have been on birth control to help regulate their period. And that's a big thing, because if your period is really irregular or really, really heavy, like unnaturally heavy, the doctor could recommend you to go on birth control, very mild dosage or whatever, and it'll just help to regulate your period. Your period will come once a month at the same time instead of like 3 times a month. Or whenever it feels like, or like once every 6 months, sort of stuff like that, just to regulate your system. I'm not saying that birth control is a cure-all. There are lots of negatives. First of all, it's unnatural. It's something that's like in your body and manipulating your ovulation, and it's not natural. So it can be harmful if you're on it for too long. And also, people have been known to gain weight when they have taken birth control. I personally did not experience that. I personally did not gain weight, but I don't gain weight very easily, so you might gain it easily and you might find that you gain weight when you start it. Everyone's different, every body's gonna be different, and every experience is gonna be different. So for me, I did not gain weight, but I will talk to you guys a little bit about my experience with birth control and some tips that I have for you guys in going about getting birth control. I believe I was 16 when I started birth control. I was mature enough about it where I talked to my mom about it, and I said, like, I think this is something that I should do, and I feel like, this is for my life right now. Like, I think this is the next step for me. My sister was on birth control. I wasn't like the first one, so I just simply brought it up with her and she was fine with it, and we went to the doctor together. I wouldn't recommend you doing this behind your mom's back or doing this behind your parents' back. That'll always come back and bite you in the ass. Let's just talk about that. That's well known. For any of us who have tried to do anything behind our parents' back, it always fails. Okay, so I would recommend talking to your parents or just your mom and just saying to her, listen, like, I feel like this is the next thing for me to do. And if you don't feel comfortable talking to your mom, a sister or older friend or anyone you feel comfortable talking about this with, because once you like become older as a woman, you have to become more comfortable with being a woman. Because of birth control, I've been put into situations where I'm literally forced to be like, okay, yeah, I'm a woman, let's do this, let's deal with the situation. So that's something that I also feel like you have to address. You have to be mature enough about it, and you also have to be responsible. It's something you have to take once a day. Like, I mean, there's other forms of birth control, but I'm going to be talking about the pill specifically. So it's something that you do have to be responsible about and mature about, like I said before. I'm going to now talk about my experience. And like I told you guys before, I talked to my mom about it and basically just said I feel like this is the next thing that I need to be doing. And so we went to the doctor, and they just kind of ask you a few questions, simple questions like, are you sexually active? What's the main reason you want to be on birth control? And I feel like every doctor will be a little bit different. So you go to the doctor, have that whole conversation, and then what they did for me was they prescribed me one of the lower dosage birth control pills, because there's different dosages. and I actually had quite a hard time finding a pill that works for me. This is something that I actually didn't know was a thing until I was on birth control. I didn't know there were different types. I just thought it was like one pill, you take it, you're good. But there are tons of different types of birth control. I'm sure you've heard of some of them, like Yasmin. They have commercials. That's kind of weird. I don't know, it just seems like a weird thing, but I guess they have condom commercials, so. What was I saying? I feel like I'm like a 9-year-old woman. I'm like, what was I saying? But seriously, what was I saying? Oh yeah, okay, so the first pill I was on, it did not work for me. And I had something called Breakthrough. I think that's what he called it, or Mother? I can't remember. But something like that, where I actually ended up getting like kind of like several periods in a month, which was like obviously not normal. So I got put onto another pill that was a higher dosage, and again the same thing happened. And I also had, with that one, I had horrible headaches, just like unnaturally horrible headaches. And so I went back to the doctor again and basically said to them, you know, it's not working for me. And so then they gave me the final one that I'm on now, which is Marvelon. And I've been on that for probably a year-ish, maybe more. And it's still not perfect for me, but at this point I'm not willing to go through the trial and error process again, because it's really hard on your body. And especially for me, like I found it just like mentally exhausting to be like, is this actually even working for me? Like, how am I, like, do you know what I mean? So that was really frustrating. But Marvelon, I've just had normal periods and so on and so forth, and I like it. The other one I tried was a less, and then I can't remember what the other one was, but I've tried a few, like I said. I will say, if you are going to the doctor to get birth control, I think if you're under 16, you need a parent with you. I think that's how it works. I will tell you that I have gone by myself and I have gone with my boyfriend before, and both of those times when I was by myself and I was with my boyfriend, I was not treated the same as when I was with my mom. I don't know why. I don't know exactly like what the purpose of that is, and I've also had varying doctors, so I don't really know if that's an every doctor thing, and I'm sure it's not. But I was treated differently with these doctors when I was by myself. They asked me like more personal questions. They asked me more questions I didn't really feel like was necessarily like, I didn't really need to answer them for them to, you know, prescribe me some birth control. Do you know what I mean? And then the weirdest thing that happened to me actually was that I was at the doctor getting a refill, and he basically said to me, well, he did say to me, I'm not going to give you any more birth control until you have a pap test. And I was like, okay, like what the hell? I just turned 19. And I was like, okay, what the heck? Like, okay. So I book a pap test and I come in and do it. And as I'm doing a pap test, which if you want to know about the pap test, which if you don't know what that is, I can do like a whole nother video on it if you need to. And it was like a really weird experience. Another day, another story. The doctor who was doing my pap test said to me, actually, you don't need to do a pap test until you're 21. And I was like, so I think that was kind of frustrating for me because pap tests aren't pleasant, and I was kind of just like, really? Like, that doctor literally told me he would not give me more birth control until I did this. So try to educate yourself, and if you can, like, go with a parent. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's really about just being responsible and mature, and if you are going to be responsible and mature, you can handle birth control. It's not like this pill that's going to change your life and all of a sudden you're going to grow boobs and your butt's going to, you know, no. Just helps regulate your period. And I mean, everyone has a different experience, but for me, that's basically what my experience was like. So if you guys have any more questions, please let me know down below, or you can private message me if you don't feel comfortable putting them down below, although we are very nice people on this channel, aren't we? And I'm so close to 8,000 subscribers. I just want to say thank you guys. That's so exciting. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below your questions or comments or thoughts, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!